Please rise for the arrival of the Premier-designate and Dr. Alison Furey. And please remain standing for the arrival of Her Honor, the Honorable Judy Foote, Lieutenant Governor of Newfoundland and Labrador, and His Honor Howard Foote, and remain standing for the singing of the national anthem, which will be sung by Maureen Ennis. Due to the COVID-19 restrictions, we'll ask that you do not join in the singing.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. Quand on brosse porter l'épée, il sait porter la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Please be seated. My name is Krista Quinlan. I'm Acting Clerk of the Executive Council and Secretary to Cabinet. We're here this morning for the swearing in of the 14th Premier of Newfoundland and Labrador. We begin today's ceremony by respectfully acknowledging the province of Newfoundland and Labrador as the ancestral homelands of many diverse populations of Indigenous peoples who have contributed to 9,000 years of history, including the Beothuk on the island of Newfoundland. Today, this province is home to diverse populations of Indigenous and other people. We also acknowledge with respect the diverse histories and cultures of the Mi'kmaq, Innu, and Inuit. At this time, I call upon the Premier-designate Andrew Furey to swear his oath of allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and to Her Honor the Lieutenant Governor and the oath of office.
I, Andrew John Furey, do swear that I will faith and true allegiance bear unto Her Most Gracious Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and to her heirs and successors. I will be true and faithful to Her Honor, the Honorable Judy M. Foote, as she is commissioned and appointed Lieutenant Governor over the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. I will, in the place and office of Her Majesty's councillor of the province, well and faithfully serve her said Majesty and promote the good of Her Majesty's affairs with my best advice and counsel. I will, with the best of my ability, defend this province from all foreign invasions and intestine insurrections. I will not countenance or conceal any plot or seditious speeches against Her said Majesty and her heirs and successors, but I will give speedy notice thereof unto Her Honour the Lieutenant Governor or some member of her council. The secret debates of the council I will not reveal directly or indirectly, all of which I will perform to the utmost of my ability. So help me God. I, Andrew John Furey, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and her heirs and successors according to the law. So help me God. I do further swear that I will serve and truly serve Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II in the office of Premier of Newfoundland and Labrador. So help me God.
I now call upon Her Honour, the Honourable Judy Foote, Lieutenant Governor of Newfoundland and Labrador, to address the gathering. Take a seat if you like.
Premier Furey, Dr. Alison Furey, Senator George Furey, Mrs. Karen Furey, family and friends, welcome to the grounds of Government House, which belong to the people of Newfoundland and Labrador. Today, a new chapter begins in the life of our province. Congratulations, Premier Furey, to you and your family, Alison, Maggie, Rachel, and Mark. This is also a new chapter in your lives. No matter what we choose to do in life as parents, our family is always our priority. Making time to continue to spend time together, as you know, is going to be so important. As you embark on this journey, make it a memorable one for all of the right reasons. Forging ahead in this place we love and are fortunate to call home, no matter our role, we do so always wanting the best for our province and our people. So today we do so under the leadership of a new Premier, with the support of those whom he has chosen to be in his cabinet, the support staff he has chosen, and a dedicated public service. Leaders are expected to lead, despite the circumstances. Some come into office under better circumstances than others. Whatever the challenges, the responsibility to lead in good and not so good times requires teamwork among all who understand that is the only way to advance our province, especially in trying times. We have all witnessed the success that comes with teamwork, whether in business, sports, and yes, politics. There are so many opportunities in Newfoundland and Labrador to see our province grow and be successful. We just pulled together to make sure a rural community in our province won Hockeyville 2020, for heaven's sake. Our national competition. Congratulations, Twillingate. Don't tell me we can't make things happen when we are determined to succeed. As I follow what is happening in business throughout our province, we cannot be anything but impressed with the IT sector, particularly those that have garnered national and international attention. Just yesterday, Carl Kinney, CEO of Kraken Robotics, told me that the company has just been named #4 marine technology company in the world. The social enterprise sector in Newfoundland and Labrador deserves attention if the province is to advance for everyone, including the most vulnerable among us. When I hear stories about how the most vulnerable are weathering the pandemic or not, it is obvious we all have a responsibility to be involved and show leadership. I look at the artistic community, who we rely on so much to preserve our culture and who entertain us. Our artists are hurting, and we need to bear in mind that during the pandemic, they depend on live engagements for a livelihood. It's been a difficult time, and we need to recognize that as well. Leadership in our province should not be left entirely to those in elected office, but to all who believe they have something to offer if our province is to progress. While we are large in land mass, we are small in population with many incredible leaders whose ideas warrant consideration as we grapple with difficult decisions that impact us all. I sincerely believe 2 heads or more are better than one because of the variety of experiences and expertise. The hard part is reaching consensus that leads to the best possible decision. That is where strong leadership is needed and necessary. Premier Furey, you know about leadership, having held many roles in which it was required, leadership and teamwork. You now have another opportunity to continue to do both, where I dare say you will be watched much more closely because of the impact your leadership will have on our province and our people. I offer the support of my nonpartisan, apolitical office, which has responsibility for ensuring Newfoundland and Labrador always has a Premier, acts on the advice of the Premier, but also has a right to advise, encourage, and warn. May God speed you in your deliberations and decisions on behalf of the people of Newfoundland and Labrador.
Thank you, Your Honor. I now call upon Premier Furey to address the gathering.
Thank you. First off, I'd like to acknowledge and show full respect that today we meet here on the ancestral lands of the diverse Indigenous peoples of Newfoundland and Labrador. Thank you, Your Honors, Speaker of the Senate, or Dad, my mom, Allison, my children, all of you here today are pivotal people to me in this pivotal moment. Friends, it's truly humbling to stand before you as the 14th Premier of Newfoundland and Labrador. Here, the very stones and mortar of our province's history surround us. I think of the people that have answered the call before me, from Smallwood to Moores to Peckford and Wells and beyond. I've thought much about what they would tell me, what their advice would be. I would ask them, are we closer to or farther from the Newfoundland and Labrador that they had hoped for? But mostly, I would listen. From decades of working in medicine or through charitable work that has taken me around the world and back, the most important lesson I have learned is how to listen. During my campaign and since being chosen to become Premier here today, I've been around the province. I've met with people of all ages, from different backgrounds, businesses, large and small, the dedicated members of our public service, and more. My experience has been to each time listen to what all these Newfoundlanders and Labradorians had to say. Truly listen. Because listening gives you a 360-degree approach to understanding and to inspire action. Listening will inform every decision that we need to make in the best possible way. And we all know the toughest decisions lie ahead. Stepping inside the Confederation building the other day was an emotional moment for me. It was very much like being handed your share of rope to help pull giant stones. But you look around. You see the commitment and the drive in the faces of those around you, those with you, and something incredible happens. That no matter the direness of the news or the weight of our current situation, you feel a genuine sense of optimism, of hope, of the possibility to change things, to make a difference. I chose this path precisely because of that feeling. And no matter how much negativity I met on the roads, no matter how many people said, "Why would you want that job?" or "Recovery is impossible." And for those who said this job was being made, is a bit like being made captain of the Titanic after hitting an iceberg, I challenge them. They don't know this place. They don't know who we are as Newfoundlanders and Labradorians. Now, obviously, COVID-19 continues to create anxiety and fear in our province. But let me assure you, we are better prepared today than we were at the start of the pandemic, and that we will be ready for a possible second wave and its impact on our people and our economy. Monday, of course, we announced a back-to-school plan that was developed with our children, our parents, and teachers as top priorities. This, of course, is a living plan, a living document, an evolving plan, and I'm confident that through collaboration, we will get it done correctly. Because getting our kids back into the classroom must happen safely and for the mental health and well-being of all involved. My friends, we're in a unique position in our province right now. Our COVID numbers are low, but we must always strive to keep our guard up. COVID, unfortunately, has hit us at a time when our economy is also on its knees. But this is also a moment at which we can take a hard look at where we are and see it through the lens of where we want to go. To shatter that economic boom and bust model. To look for sustainable, forward-thinking solutions. As I have said many times, I call on the brightest minds in our province to take a seat at the table. I tell you today, we are listening. Help us make the right decisions that are informed by evidence and are the absolute right choices for our province's future. Help us redefine ourselves. Help us take the next steps in our industries, from oil and gas to aquaculture, mining, and the fishery, to build an enormous border-breaking potential that we see in our technology sector, as well as in our much celebrated arts and entertainment industry. To build a sustainable, fiscally responsible, and stable economy for the future of Newfoundland and Labrador. I know there are skeptics out there. I know that there are those whose faith in our political institutions has been rocked. I can't change the past. I can only stand up now and tell you how this government will move forward. Transparency. You will know exactly what the hard decisions are and how they will impact our province and why we are making them. When asked a question, expect a straight-up, fact-based answer. No rhetoric, just reality. We will stand and be accountable for our mistakes, and we together will strive to learn from them. And we will, of course, be judged by future generations on the differences we make today. My friends, if you listen closely to the long halls of this building or along the office rows in the Confederation building, if you listen to the many voices asking for something to ease the anxiety that 2020 has helped cultivate, if you listen to the ancient voices of those who were here long before us, from the tip of Labrador to St. Shots and every craggy corner, town and bay in between, you will hear it. That fighting spirit. We must answer it. We must honor it. And to broaden what a famous author once said, that no matter how hard the world pushes against us, within us, there is something stronger, something better, pushing right back. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Premier Furey. Please rise for the Ode to Newfoundland and God Save the Queen, performed by Maureen Ennis.
When sun rays crown thy pine-clad hills, and summer spreads her hand, when silvern voices tune thy rills, we love thee, smiling land. We love thee, we love thee, we love thee, smiling land. As loved our fathers, so we love, where once they stood we stand. Their prayer we raise to heaven above, God guard thee, Newfoundland. God guard thee, God guard thee, God guard thee, Newfoundland. God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen, God save the Queen. Send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us, God save the Queen.
This concludes the formal part of the ceremony, and we invite you to join us for a reception in the garden just over here. Please rise as the official party departs.